YNW Melly back in court today. His attorney saying the state has not given enough evidence to this point to keep him in jail, but prosecutors say they have proven plenty that shows he needs to remain behind bars.
YNW Melly's legal team has just filed new motions seeking his release from custody. Earlier today, officials confirmed that Florida rapper YNW Melly was targeted inside his cell block. Sources say the incident stemmed from commissary disputes and cell block power dynamics. As is common in jail settings, when someone new arrives, inmates will often challenge the largest or most well-known person to build a reputation. That appears to be exactly what happened. But the situation took an unexpected turn after an email surfaced following YNW Bortland's plea deal against Melly. The message stated, "Given Mr. Henry's plea agreement and forthcoming proffer, we request his deposition as soon as possible. Given the circumstances, we are concerned for his safety, so we would like to facilitate it within the next 30 days. Please advise if you will continue to represent all defendants." This suggested prosecutors believed Bortland was the one likely to be targeted before delivering testimony against Melly. Yet in reality, it was Melly who was attacked. Ironically, the incident strengthens Melly's argument for release, as he has now filed a lawsuit against Broward County. It was announced that YNW Melly is suing the Broward Sheriff's Office for cruel conditions and is requesting immediate release from detention. Melly asserts he has been denied contact with family for 3 years and forced to endure a freezing cell, inedible food, and total isolation. Confident he will be freed, Melly has reportedly already purchased a $100,000 chain to wear upon his release.
I would assume
still,
that he spent a lot of money on lawyers. Like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry? You're not here to wear the jewelry.
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But
Yeah.
he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like, he don't even want the chain no more.
What could actually push WW Melly toward release is the interview his mother gave to TMZ. During that segment, she painted a grim picture of his life behind bars, suggesting he might not survive much longer under those conditions. She vented her frustration over the fact that, even after Melly's first trial ended in a mistrial, essentially giving him a second chance, he was still left sitting in jail.
my son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
Jamie King later went on to say that she feels completely devastated for her son. She described feeling powerless, claiming he's not even being treated like a human being inside the facility.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
The interview quickly went viral. Charleston White reacted by saying this is exactly the type of treatment WW Melly should expect, arguing that being a famous rapper shouldn't earn him any special privileges. But let us know what you think in the comments.
The YNW Melly. I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
Even rap veteran Bowie chimed in, speaking on the emotional toll Jamie King has been dealing with throughout this situation.
Okay, so
Then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a...
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
Around the same time, WW Melly appeared in court looking healthy and confident during his civil lawsuit. but the federal response came swiftly. They arrested Melly's ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
According to reports, the judge offered Mariah a deal. If she agreed to testify against Melly, she would be released immediately. She accepted without hesitation, delivering the worst possible outcome for YNW Melly. On her way home, she even posted on Facebook, "To my village, thank you all. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." Investigators had found alarming evidence in her iCloud linking Melly to pressuring her not to testify, classified as witness tampering, which undermined Melly's entire lawsuit.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Prosecutors now claim YNW Melly used jail calls to tamper with a witness, contacting Mariah and allegedly using coded language to push her to leave the country so she couldn't appear in court. This would also explain why Melly has been denied phone access and human contact for years. YW Juvie's father had already spoken about this long ago, but his warnings were ignored.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
With this evidence submitted, the judge said it directly impacted his decision regarding Melly's potential bond. He asked both Melly's attorneys and the prosecution to present arguments for why Melly should or should not be released. Let us know if you'd grant him bond, especially after prosecutors began showcasing text messages they say include Melly admitting to the crime.
The PT Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
This came alongside footage of Melly dancing in a parking lot with YNW Portland only hours after the crime occurred, showing no sign of grief for the 2 close friends who had just lost their lives.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
What Melly didn't realize was that he had also been recorded leaving the recording studio. In that video, he's clearly seen sitting in the back left seat of the Jeep before waiting for sack chaser Juvie Bortland to climb in. This detail matters because the official court document states, the direction of items traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where YW Melly was positioned. Even YW Juvie's mother confirmed Melly was seated in that spot.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
It was now YW Melly's turn to explain why he believed he should be released from jail. His team began by reminding the judge that during the original trial, prosecutors themselves admitted that no firearm had ever been recovered.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
They then argued that a plea deal should never have been offered to YW Bortland, pointing out that he was the one hiding evidence inside his own bedroom closet.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with the witness.
According to new filings submitted to the Broward Clerk, alleged notes were discovered in Bortland's home during last week's raid. These notes included seat placements and descriptions of jurors, creating the unsettling impression that Bortland may have been planning to target them if they ruled against his friend.
Keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
The judge would then question prosecutors on why they granted YNW Bortland the plea deal. And here is the explanation. It was stated that, as expected, YNW Bortland accepted the plea agreement and also signed on for a proffer, meaning he is providing information. The charge is accessory after the fact, carrying 10 years in prison followed by 6 years of probation. His deposition has already been requested in the civil proceedings, where DJ Academics later broke down the situation in simpler language. He explained, the judge says on both counts, YNW Bortland pleads no contest, and he must give a factual basis for the court to accept the plea. This means he must provide a factual account of how he committed accessory to the crime, which confirms that the crime itself occurred, the same crime YNW Melly is accused of. He described it as a tough plea, noting that the defendant can't simply respond politely. He has to lay out the details fully, essentially singing like Franklin.
Out saying people are upset. I said this is a gonna plea. This is a gonna plea. This isn't a plea saying you have to tell or him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gonna plea. Why do I say he signed a gonna plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case, we covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually they are proving, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender. Also, the accessory after the fact plea confirms that Bortland, that's kind of like almost like a sub part of a conspiracy, except you weren't with the conspiracy at first. You came in after the fact. What that proved is that they came in. What that proved is that Bortland worked with someone after he acknowledged that a took place in trying to cover it up. You hear what I just said? When pleading to an accessory to after the fact, you have to acknowledge that it happened and you assisted someone or in some way to cover the. Now, if Melly's statement is, how do we know they were, and then secondly, how do we know who did it? Because they said it was a drive.
To put it more simply, Bortland is now required to give his version of how everything unfolded inside the car, even if he avoids using Melly's name. But once he tells police that Sack Chaser and Juvie died from something that happened inside the vehicle, it eliminates the drive-by theory completely, and that alone could seal YW Melly's conviction.
All right, let's talk YNW Melly and YNW Bortland. He is now doing the triple Lindy. For those youngsters that don't know what the triple Lindy is, it is when you do several flips off a high dive, and he will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens. A lot of times where guys are in the prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve, he decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases. And I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time. But long story short is it looks like he's going to flip. And it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible.
Even more troubling for the defense is that Bortland's cooperation would also support new evidence prosecutors want introduced, including a Facebook photo of YW Melly with Young Thug. Prosecutors are using it to argue Melly is tied to the same street organization connected to Young Thug's case.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, the snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons has big hand signs displayed.
Right, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also the Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
But what concerns them even more is a recent interview from a former O-Block member who claims Melly once confided a secret to King Von. Before Von's death and before Melly's arrest, the two were extremely close. According to this source, Von told people in O-Block that Melly had asked him for guidance on how to deal with people. And if you know King Von's reputation, you know exactly what that statement implies.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
Let me know in the comments whether you think this is enough to justify a pre-trial release. I'll be reading everything, and hit the like if you still support Melly. I'm curious how many of you are still with him.